My, this is my sister told me my face would have
No, I mean, it's not a big deal. No, it's not gonna be. I'm good though.
Okay. We're going to call the Novi Board of Education regular meeting to order. Today is December 2nd. I want to welcome everybody here this evening. And I would also like to take a moment of silence in acknowledgement of the 4 students who were killed: Hannah St. Juliana, Tate Meyer, Madison Baldwin, and Justin Schilling, all the injured and the entire community of Oxford. So if we can just take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. If we can please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First off, we have our approval of the agenda. Tonight we do have an amendment to our agenda. So, Mrs. Murphy, if you could.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we move the closed session off of the agenda and add it to our work session meeting at the end, after the adjournment of our work session, and have the closed session at that time.
Thank you. Do we have support? Recommended by Mrs. Murphy and supported by Mr. Mena. All in favor of the agenda, amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We'll move on to our first report, which is a status update of what's been happening in our district in the last 24 hours, and I will hand it over to you, Dr. Weber.
Thank you very much, President Ruskin. I appreciate that. This morning, across our region, there were at least 50 school districts where parents had to have a conversation with their children that they could have never imagined that they would have to have. That their school was closed from kindergarten through 12th grade, their district was closed due to events that have occurred coming out of the acknowledgement of the 4 lives that were lost on Tuesday. The threat levels in our region caused that. And so for every parent out there, I want to say I'm truly and deeply sorry for you having that moment today. I'd like to start the status update with a quote from Fred Rogers, actually, because I think it's important for parents to hear this. I don't expect, and we don't expect any of you to be perfect. Some of you may have completely booted that conversation this morning. It's okay. It's okay. At least you tried to have it. Anything that's human is mentionable, and anything that is mentionable can be more manageable. When we can talk about our feelings, they become less overwhelming, less upsetting, and less scary. The people we trust with that important talk can help us know that we are not alone. And today, the Novi Community School District, please know that your families were not alone, because in this very room, over 40 people met throughout the entire day, including President Ruskin, including a host of people that are in the crowd here tonight, including one of our school liaison officers, Officer Julie Warren, to discuss what we were going to do to communicate well with our community, as well as what we were going to do to provide the best and safest environment to come back to, for our students to come back to, how we were going to attend to what was indeed a very traumatic experience for many today, and will be again tomorrow as kids want to be in school. I had the pleasure of talking to my own son for a few seconds tonight, and he was incredibly bummed out to not be able to go back to school tomorrow. So, with that said, in the past 24 hours, as I mentioned, we had assembled here to talk about every single building administrator, district administrator, a host of assistants, again, our SROs, both of our SROs, to discuss what our next steps will indeed be. Dr. Kinzer was on a 2-hour call today with every superintendent in Oakland County, so he's going to be able to provide a little bit of county perspective on that. Greg McIntyre was working with his team, and to give you a very small story or look into what happened in this room today, one of the members of Mr. McIntyre's team said, well, one of the things that we're going to do is we are going to make sure that every egress point in the district, so think of every window, I would have never thought of this, we're going to make sure every window can open and has been opened. If you think about it, if you haven't opened the window in your house in years, it's really, really difficult to open. So that's just a piece of the story and a piece of the detail. And I'm sorry we have to have these conversations right now, but we have to have these conversations right now. So Dr. Kinzer and Mr. McIntyre, if you'd like to provide some information, Dr. Kinzer, on what you learned today from a county level, so our parents here know I can understand what other districts are engaged in as well, and then Mr. McIntyre, if there's anything you'd like to add. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. So this morning, the Oakland County Superintendents met, and I was invited to join them as Dr. Matthews was unable to. The meeting began with participation from a number of state-level officials, representatives from the governor, from legislators, from the Department of Education, all pledging their support to districts in Oakland County. And clearly we are at the epicenter of what's happening, and there were a lot of resources made available to districts in Oakland County from those who have the ability to support us. Once we had heard from all of those individuals, each superintendent gave a brief summary of what was happening in their district. And it became very clear that the vast majority of districts in Oakland County were closed today and will close again tomorrow. Districts talked about the level of threat in their own communities, as well as their perceptions of the feelings of students and staff and community members. And it was very clear to all of us in the room that we're all in this together, and that there's a lot of support from one district to another in this county. And we're all facing very challenging circumstances, but we're doing it together.
Thank you, Dr. Kinzer. Mr. McIntyre, do you have any?
Yeah, I thought it was important to have different stakeholders in the room to bring about different ideas, and we all can think about silos. We take ourselves, we talk about hard access to come on board with Zoom. We talk about the security issues we already started working on, and one thing we thought was transportation. That could be a potential mobile situation like we have as opposed to being a physical food. So these are the types of things that all the players are already in play. So I'll start thinking about food safety.
Thank you very much, Mr. McIntyre, Dr. Kinzer. And to give the community an idea of who was in the room today and the conversations that were happening, we had conversations with preschool through 4th grade, 5th and 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th through 12th. Our special populations, that would be students with IEPs, students with 504s. Our English language learners, we have 55 languages spoken in the homes of our district. Well, that presents another challenge as we're talking about protocols and how we keep our kids safe. Athletics, Don Wachowski, our athletic director, pointed out, to the room, from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock is a whole other part of the school day. And that is the vibrant athletic programming that we have in Michigan High School athletics. You think about that. And then also transportation, as well as we invited the union president in today to have some perspective from teachers, and we were very grateful that the board president was there as well to observe and provide that. Some pieces so you know as a community that we are continuing to work on, but most importantly in my mind are resources for parents and how to work with your children, as well as how we're going to work with our staff as our children come back into our schools. President Ruskin, is there anything you'd like to add from today? And perhaps we should let everyone know where Dr. Matthews is, so I don't think we acknowledge that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I missed that part. Sorry, Dr.
No, it's okay.
So Dr. Matthews is on a short medical leave as he had surgery yesterday afternoon, or yesterday late morning. So he is at home and doing well and recovering, and will be back with us soon. And I know that the timing isn't great, and he is disappointed that he can't be here to support us because he is a fearless leader But we've given him strict instructions to stay off of his phone while he's trying to recover.
Correct.
Today's meeting in here was just really important to see happen. Everybody came in with different perspectives. The observation piece, which took about an hour or so, was broken into it was kind of like K4, and then there was 5, 6, and 7, 8. K through 6 was put together, it was pre-K actually, and the high school, and it was very interesting to see the challenges that were being had at each level, because as we kind of went down the line, as the kids mature, the challenges became a different set of challenges that were observed yesterday in the schools. So that was enlightening and helpful, and a communication plan was talked about, and a plan for the immediate response and for future response. So Dr. Weber did a fantastic job facilitating the meeting. There was a lot of people in the room with really great ideas and really, care about our kids, and really gave a good perspective on where we need to go from here, not just from a safety point, but from just a point of supporting our whole school community. One thing I saw today that someone had put out who had gone back to school, and I'm just going to read like a short blurb just to give people a sense of why it's so important that we get this right and that we work to make sure that our staff and our students feel safe and cared for. So a teacher had gone back to school and said it was just a very messy day. 16 of the 5th grade students were with social workers, kids with past trauma were totally reliving it. They had kids drawing pictures of their feelings, and the graphics that the teachers were seeing were horrific, as they put. 3 of the kids stayed home. 1 girl in the class left terrified. So it just shows that although people might wonder why you just can't get back in the classroom and get back after it, that the students need this time. And our staff needs this time. So we're going to do that as a district and take this time.
I think we need to sit with that for a second. Thank you, President Ruskin, for your vulnerability. Here's the reality. We've coming out of the pandemic for almost 2 years. The people that we're working with and serving are raw. We're going to get this right for your kids and for our staff and for each other. Being a school board member, being a teacher, through that whole piece is a whole different angle on it. As I mentioned, 50 districts where parents had to have conversations they never thought they would have to have, right? We are in this together. If I reflect on the past few months and some contentious moments in this room, it is time to become what we need to become for our kids, which is a unified group of people who care deeply about making sure that they're okay and we're okay. They deserve it. And as Danielle just said, and I know this is an educator, the educators are going to speak to this. Just because a student may say they're okay, I'm okay, I'm all right. Well, draw how you're feeling. How are you really doing? And that is what we find. Here's the beauty, and this is the amazing thing on this, in my opinion. It's not just our district, but public education in general. We can do something about this in a way to help our children, to help our families, and we will. And we have great people to do it. People on this board, all the way through our entire district. Our parents are invested and they care. And my prediction is that we are going to absolutely come together on this as a community. And we are going to do everything we possibly can to make sure our kids can look at their school as a place that brings joy, wonderment, and awe. And their parents, when they drop them off, know, as they do, that they're okay. And that's what we're going to get after. And tomorrow, in this very room as well, that same group of people will be meeting and dispersing to get after it again for a full day in how we attend to the needs of you as parents, board members, families, our kids, and ourselves. Because as administrators, I've seen my own colleagues go through heck in the past couple of years. And part of this as well is making sure that people who are running our buildings, running our divisions, our programs, and our groups are well as well. sit in little emotions, I look out the room there, we're gonna be okay. We are. It's not gonna be easy. But I look back at Julie Warren back there at our SRO, and she's gonna stick around with us later on tonight. We're gonna have some conversations with the board. And I just want to say, for folks who don't think there's a place for police in schools, they're wrong. John Zavic and Julie Warren today were invaluable in our conversations, helping us to see what we can do and what we can do to protect our kids. So thank you for that. Thanks, Danielle.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to the next agenda item, we have comments from the audience related to agenda items. Individuals who wish to address the board must identify themselves, their address, you don't have to say your address, publicly. You can fill it out on the green card and make sure that Sheila receives that. And any organization they may represent, the board and individual board members will not directly respond to comments or questions that arise from the public participation portion of the meeting. Individuals who wish to address the board shall direct their comments to the entire board and not to individual board members, the superintendent, the acting superintendent, other school district employees, or members of the audience. Behavior that is intemperate, abusive, defamatory, or discourteous, or that otherwise interferes with the orderly conduct and timely completion of the board meeting is strictly prohibited. Mr. Maddow will keep track of time. Each speaker has 5 minutes, and we'll give you a little 30-second warning so that we don't cut you off. So please go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sharon Trustee. I'm just going to ramble a little bit and say where's Julie Warren? Oh, she's over there. I'm a teacher. We did Alice drills with my preschoolers and my kindergartners, and Julie Warren came and helped us with those. And there's a few things as terrifying as imagining how you would launch a 3-year-old out a window in an emergency. And over the past few days, one thing that has comforted me is knowing that that we have people like Julie Warren who are guiding us in this, and knowing that we have people like Dr. Matthews, who's recovering from surgery and making the phone call this morning to tell us that school is canceled, knowing that we have someone like Dr. Weber who is stepping in for Dr. Matthews probably in one of the toughest weeks you could probably be tasked with taking the lead. And as terrible as all of this has been, it has really comforted me to know that there are people in this room that I know love my children. Oh, there's Mr. Asher. There's a lot of people here that I know love my children, and that I feel fortunate to have personal relationships with, and my kids needed today. I have 2 very different kids who had very different needs today, but they needed today. I needed today. My high schooler came to me last night to ask me to read over. He's a program lead on the robotics team, and he asked me to read over an email that he had written to send to the Oxford robotics team, offering that our kids would fill in for the Oxford kids who had volunteered for upcoming events, and offering them any support that they might need in the coming weeks. And I just thought about what a great job Novi has done in providing that social emotional learning. And I know there's some people that really want to focus on academic skills, and I don't want to downplay how important academic skills are, but those are the moments as a parent that really mean the most to me, to see that my child is growing up to be a good person, and it's in part because of all of you. So I just want to thank each of you tonight. I brought you cookies. I don't think there's enough for everybody who I'm appreciative of. This room, but there are nice, so cut them up. And I wish I could give everybody here a hug, because I know that this has just been a tough week for all of us. And if I have to be in this with somebody, I'm glad I'm in it with you. So thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Trustee. Do we have any other comments from the audience? Okay, seeing none right now, there will be another opportunity later in the agenda. We will move on to our consent agenda items. We have 3 consent agenda items. We have approval of the minutes, the regular meeting minutes from November 18th, the minutes of the closed session, November 18th. We have our approval of the bills. We have our report, approval of the bills of September 2021, the check register, September 1st through September 30th, 2021, purchase card report, August 1st through August 31st, 2021, report approval of the bills for October 2021, check register October 1st through October 31st, 2021, purchase card report September 1st through September 30th, 2021. We, as a third item on our consent agenda, have approval of field trips, and we have 2 on here. We have Michigan Thespian Festival trip approval form and the Washington DC trip for 2022 next year. So if I make a motion, Mr. Smith?
I move that the Novi Community School District Board of Education approve the consent items as presented.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Smith and supported by Mrs. Murphy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 7-0. We have 2 action items this evening. The first one is the personnel report. Dr. Weber.
Thank you, President Ruskin. Dr. Kinzer?
Thank you, Dr. Weber. This evening, we have 2 new hires. Alice Anglin, food science teacher at Novi High School, and Claudia Welch, a social worker at Orchard Hills. We also have 3 retirements. Lydia Kenna, history and journalism teacher at Novi High School, Leslie Condit, counselor at Novi Middle School, and Todd Pennycoff, PE teacher at Novi High School.
May I have a motion?
Sure, I'll move that we accept the personnel report as provided.
We have support. Recommended by Mr. Smith and supported by Mrs. Roney. Any comments or questions for Dr. Kinzer? Mr. Cook?
Yeah, every time I see a new hire as a social worker or a counselor, I kind of get excited, but then when we lose one, it kind of deflates that balloon a little bit. And hopefully we can replace the counselor Stephen, because she did a heck of a job over there at the middle school. So.
The good news is that her retirement is effective at the end of the year, so we'll have plenty of time to work on that.
Yep.
Mrs. Murphy?
Yeah, just a quick question. Food science teacher, we only have 1 applicant?
Yeah, I saw that too. That was my-
So this time of year, that's not surprising. However, I will tell you that we're hiring a very talented, experienced person.
Well, it looks like it. So,
Does she live in Rochester Hills as well, or that doesn't matter? Okay.
yeah, awesome. Can I make a quick comment about, Lydia has, my kid had her as a teacher. She's been pretty dynamic in terms of helping the drama department as well, and the yearbook, she managed that for a long time, so I know that those are pretty big shoes to fill. She's been wearing 2 hats and teaching a lot of different classes for a while too, so excited to see you come up with for that. And then Leslie, she's been in the district how long? 25 years? 30 years? 40 years? So a long time that she's been with us. I know that she will be missed by a lot of people over there, and certainly she's done a great job with our kids. So glad to see her go. I understand.
I second that. I think that, Leslie Condon has been here longer than anyone in this room, I'm assuming. And, I have a funny story. She's just such a young, vibrant personality that's so good with kids and parents and adults and people in our district. And I really, one day, 45 years, I knew it was 40-something, I didn't want to go over, but 45 years, that is a lifetime. And I remember several years ago going to the opening welcome assembly that Dr. Matthews likes to dress up at and welcome everybody. And he also gives out awards for years of service. And that particular year, they named, I think it was 2 to 3 years ago, that someone had been there for 42 years. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, who's old enough to be here for 42 years? And there I see sweet Leslie walking across the stage with a skip in her step, and she is just such a bright soul, so I'm so happy to see that she is retiring and moving on to the next phase in her life. So, okay, if we have no other comments, I think we're ready for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. The final action item this evening is the movement of the board meeting schedule revision, June 2nd conflict commencements at EMU. Dr. Weber.
Yes, thank you, President Ruskin. On September 9th, 2021, the board approved the 2021-2022 revised meeting schedule that included the rest of the 2021-2022 school year. A scheduled conflict has appeared for June 2nd, 2021. That is the same date as the Novi High School commencement ceremony at EMU. So for the community, and important because we are shifting our commencement from a Saturday evening to a Thursday evening. It is being recommended that June 2nd, 2021 be rescheduled for June 9, 2021. This came before the board for November 18, 2021 board meeting for information discussion. It comes back tonight for board action. These meetings will be held at the Educational Services Building, located at 25345 Taft Road, Novi, Michigan, 48374, where we are tonight. The tentative schedule includes the proposed dates that will change. Thank you.
Thank you. If I can get a motion for recommendation. Mr. Mena?
Sure, I move that we approve the revised board meeting schedule presented.
Support.
Recommended by Mr. Mena and supported by Mrs. Murphy. Any questions on this? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We will move on to our information and discussion item, which is the Novi Meadows addition and renovation structure cabling project. Dr. Weber.
Thank you, President Ruskin. And we have Jeff Maas here tonight, as well as Anthony LaPricchia. Perhaps just be ready in the on-deck circle, if you will, here at the podium, in case we have any board members with questions. IDS worked with the district technology staff, building administration, TMP, and Oakland Schools Technology to determine the structured cabling system for the Novi Meadows addition. The cabling acquired and installed will provide the necessary infrastructure for classroom and office data, wireless access, security cameras, and electronic signage. On Tuesday, November 9th at 2 p.m., the received bids were opened and publicly read. The 6 firms that submitted bids were Amcom Telecommunications, Capricorn Diversified Systems, Complete Interactive Technologies, Infinity Technology Group, Moss Audio, and Technology Solutions Unlimited. And if we want to go ahead and take a look through that, they are all right there for you in the packet. IDS recommends award of the Meadows Addition Structured Cabling Project be awarded to Moss Audio in the amount of $87,762.07. The project is within the established budget for the scope of bond projects. IDS also recommends a district-managed contingency of $17,553. This is 20% of the award based on potential modifications that may be necessary due to delays in construction. The total award for this project is $105,315.07. This comes before the board tonight for information and discussion, and will come back for approval at the December 16, 2021 regular board meeting. Thank you, President Ruskin.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. So we have with us tonight Maz and Anthony. If any board members have any specific questions, please feel free to ask them. Mrs. Murphy?
Just a real quick question. I noticed in here the supply chain issues that have been addressed. Is that going to be something that we're going to start to see more of?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're trying to get our bids out as early as possible to get in front of that, and this is one of the big areas. The vendors are willing to procure all the necessary materials and store them in advance, knowing with even with the construction delays. So we're seeing anywhere between 6 to 12 week delays to 6 to 12 month delays, depending on the products.
Okay. And this agreement to limit the price increases,
Right.
that's not something that will necessarily come back to us if the price increases, is it? Since the contingency's there, or?
We have the contingency to work within. This is more for when we write these contracts, we try to get guaranteed pricing for 24 months as we know there's more projects coming along.
Right.
And we can work with continued vendors. So if we have another project that is above our normal bid threshold, we would come back to the board saying we're using this contract for X dollars.
Okay. Thank you, Mom.
Thank you. Do we have any further questions? Mr. Cook?
Yeah, seeing this does include security cameras, was our security consultant consulted on any of this and types of stuff like that?
No, this is just for the cabling work, not the camera work.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? Mrs. Roney?
Do they do lots of schools, or is it just?
Yes, they're a large company that does a variety of technology services, including cabling work, and their references checked out very well.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Seeing no further questions, certainly if you have any further questions, you can send them through the central office, through Sheila, and for now, Dr. Weber, and we will get those to our tech department so that you guys can respond appropriately. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Moving on, we have our second opportunity for comments from the audience. I will not reread all the guidelines. And so if anybody has a specific comment they'd like to make, please come up to the podium, make sure you fill out a green card, get that to Sheila before you leave this evening.
Thank you, board members, everybody here. I'm Kelly Green, parent of two here in the Novi Community School District. And as a parent, I wanted to come here, thank the board, the administration, in particular Dr. Weber and our educators for exceptional work that they've been doing and courage under fire, if you will, during these very difficult times. My kids, when they come home after they have these discussions with their teachers and after doing the ALICE training and drills, I'm happy to say they are frightened more so than they are prepared. And I think that is the goal and the objective in trying to explain to them what to do in these emergencies. I would like to give a special shout out to Parkview, as I know that they've been dealing with my kids now for years. I see Principal Carino there, thank you. And just as an example of how exceptional our teachers are, just this morning, my son received a quick video message that his second grade teacher, Carly Musa, sent to her class that was bright, it was positive, it was encouraging, reminded them to do their assignments, and it was exactly what my child needed this morning. Between COVID, staffing shortages, questions about masking of the curriculum, I don't think we could ask anything more of our educators. And I would give them all trophies and an all-expense paid vacation. And also this afternoon, as I received that recorded message notifying us that school will be canceled tomorrow, it was transparent. It contained the exact amount of detail that I was looking for, and I couldn't ask for anything more from this district. And those are my thoughts as a parent. And as the representative for this district in the state legislature, I want to reassure all of you that all I'm hearing right now is consistency and transparency. I represent 4 different districts. I have spoken to all the superintendents. Everybody is in line. They are transparent and clear with their plan of action moving forward. Sheriff Bouchard has done an exceptional and amazing job of keeping everybody informed and updated. And I am just completely in awe of everybody's poise and transparency and professionalism. And as this district has been for me and here for me and my family, I want you guys to know that I am here for you. Talk to me. If there are resources, things that you need, anything that I can help with, I will make every effort to procure that for you. Every effort. And for the parents that are here, I want you all to know that what I am hearing is consistent. We're not hearing any crazy rumors. Everybody's being forthright and honest while we have these ongoing investigations. And people are quick to point fingers, they're quick to make accusations, and I hope that we can all just realize we're all human. We're doing the best job that we can under these very trying times, and we need to give each other a little grace, make sure that our educators have the time and the space and the resources that they need to not only do their jobs, but cope with their jobs. We ask a lot of them to take care of our kids, to educate them, and to protect them in the event that something horrific were to happen. So I'm going to remind my kids every day to, as Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. I see a lot of helpers in this room, particularly Officer Julie Warren in the back. Her and Officer Zabek, who are school resources officers, helpers like Principal Carino, I see Emily Kwanski, I see a lot of amazing people here. And I came here just to let you know how grateful I am, and to let you know that as much as you've been here for me, I will be here for you for whatever you need. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Green. Do we have any other comments from the audience tonight? Okay, just a reminder, please fill out the green card when you leave, even though we know who you are, just so that we can have it in public record. Thank you so much. We are going to move on to the acting superintendent report. Dr. Weber.
Thank you very much, President Ruskin. Simply, I'd just like to say thank you that our parents and kids are being asked for a lot as well right now. And what I know is that we'll find what we need to find to get to where we need to get. And when I think of our administrators and Representative Breen, I appreciate you saying that, teachers here, that gratitude means a tremendous amount after the past 2 years. And we will continue to do it no matter what, because it's just how we're wired. So much love to everybody out there, to your families through this difficult week. And I really appreciate President Ruskin what you read there. I will say for the community to know, as we go into closed session, that we will be having a conversation with the board about the next steps, what we're doing, how we protect your children and our staff, in increasing detail, and as with Officer Warren as well. And I'd also really like to again thank the people today who came in and gave their all while they left their own kids at home, wondering how they were doing to protect your kids. So that isn't lost on me either, that the people who are showing up to protect our community are often leaving their own kids at home to do so. Thank you for that, for everyone who does that. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Weber. We'll move on to our administrative reports. We will start with Mr. McIntyre.
Today was a moment of truth for us. And I would like to thank Dr. Weber for taking the leading us today. I'd like to thank President Ruskin for spending the entire day with us. And I would also like to thank Dr. Warren for spending the day with us as well. But I also want to say that we are an amazing group of administrators here. I heard no wrong. They just got right up. I know some of them are beaten down. They're going to a lot of work, but they shut up to the plate. They got a job done. I'm very proud of them. I just want to give out awards for everyone that attended today to help strategize, not just communication plan, but other plans to keep our community safe, our students safe. So thank you all for that. We don't often recognize you like we should, but I want to be the first to say I'm very proud of you today. I observed from a distance how you all got together. You broke apart, you came back together, and before you know it, all kind of ideas. We were ready to rock and roll. So thank you, Dr. Weber, for your leadership on that. So thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. McIntyre. Dr. Kinzer.
Thank you, Dr. Ruskin. Much like Dr. Weber and Mr. McIntyre, I'm very appreciative of our team and the work that we were able to take on today. Dr. Weber's leadership was exceptional, and our very talented, dedicated administrators stepped up to the plate as they've done for a long time. Tomorrow, we'll have the opportunity to engage in similar conversations with our teachers and their staff, and I'm equally excited about those conversations because great work will happen tomorrow as well, and there's no doubt in my mind that we will be very prepared for our students next week.
Thank you, Dr. Kinzer. Next, we have the opportunity for board communication. Anyone from the board have anything specific that they'd like to share here at the board table? Mr. Cook?
Just one quick note. Coach Lucci, our hockey coach, had his 100th win last night, so as a nobody coach. So, that's a milestone that I think we should celebrate.
Great. Any other comments? Okay. I don't want to reiterate what everybody has said, but I also saw amazing work being done today. It was really not just one individual or one leader, but it was a team, and that's what's important. One of the comments that came out of today, because as we noticed yesterday at school, things were kind of just very even keel with hills and valleys. I think people were in shock and really just trying to understand how their day was going to look, whether it be staff members or students. And then they went home and, social media can kind of spiral out of control, especially for teenagers. And things got real ramped up, and by the evening, things were really in a space where kids' anxiety, and I'm sure staff members and parents' anxieties were extremely high. I've been watching very, very closely Michael Bouchard's news conferences, and he has done just an exceptional, transparent job of sharing as much possible information as possible with the community. And in those things today, he shared a few things. And as a reminder, some things that we can do as parents at home that are extremely important, just to remind your kids that social media comments, because this is what they're seeing, of things that are funny, and I know we're thinking, how could anyone dream or think of that? But kids are kids, and their behaviors come out in different ways in different spaces. And putting something on social media isn't funny, and making a threat because maybe you won't have to go to school because Bloomfield Hills doesn't, and you didn't know what you did or whatnot, is problematic. And the prosecutor was there, and she was very stern at the press conference that that's a 20-year felony. So a 12 or 13 or 14 or 16-year-old who just makes a slight mistake can affect their lives forever, or at least into their adulthood. So I think it's just important as parents that we have these conversations, and those are just good reminders. And that's our role as part of the team of people who raise these children in our community to just remind them of those things. And one of the other facts that he made really clear, because the social media did spiral out of control where people were sharing screenshots and things like that, is he doesn't want to deter people from doing sharing, but sharing them amongst each other and individuals is not helpful, and is causing this situation and this fear and this agony for families and children. But that there is the okay to say, there's tip lines, that he encourages people to actually make those threats available to the investigators to make the appropriate investigation and see. And if there's 1,000 non-real threats and one is caught, then every single one of those was worth their time. But sending it to your friend down the street is not going to help the situation, and it's just going to instill fear, and actually maybe miss an opportunity to stop future instances. So those are two things that I think that we as a community and we as parents could potentially just really help the team to make sure that our kids are moving along in a positive space and not finding themselves in a place that they may regret, just because they're unsure how to handle such a horrific situation that's surrounding them.
And President Ruskin, I really deeply appreciate your leadership this week in the sense that I know, because as we've been in communication with each other, like, I can't talk right now because I'm watching the press conference. And so you've done that and taken that. But what I want to also say is that tomorrow there'll be more communication with our families of actionable things that you can do with your students and recommendations from the district. Now, some of these recommendations may very well sound like they're coming from a high school principal. They are. We're going to be very direct with you all as parents of, just like our sheriff was saying, that we need to be very explicit in how dangerous it is for the future of our children to share things they shouldn't be sharing, do things they shouldn't be doing. It is the people that I've spoken with in law enforcement this week in the prosecutor's office They want nothing more than to root out what is at the epicenter of these type of threats. And they have dedicated so much time and energy, and knowing that the prosecutor, I don't believe there will be any quarter given once they do find out who is indeed part of this. So President Ruskin is not a crying wolf here. I would encourage you to have a conversation with your students, if it's appropriate, about social media usage and phone usage. The FBI, for instance, has just gotten involved in this today. The FBI is pretty scary in how they're able to find out who sends what and does what. And if they're involved at this level now here we go. So thank you for saying that.
Thank you.
Can I just add?
Yes, please.
I appreciate the thoughts and the comments, and I think that parents need to be their kids' frontal lobes right now. Their frontal lobes aren't developed, they don't have that ability to make judgments, so even just giving them permission, like, I'm not gonna get mad if you come and ask me if something's okay or something's not. Because they really do not have the ability to discern that very well for themselves, especially in areas that are a little bit gray, and there's a lot of gray in social media. So I would just, be encouraged to the conversations with your student, if you have any, vacillating between it's right or it's wrong, oh, I'll just do it anyways. No, come and check it out with me. I will give you a good sense of whether or not that is something that should or could be done. So I think just having that open dialogue with them and letting them know that you understand their brains have not developed along those lines yet in terms of really being able to discern and form solid judgments. And we know now that that's not really for many people till they're 24 to 26. So we just need to keep that in mind as we're dealing with our students, that yes, we would think, well, how could they not know that was wrong? But at the same time, they don't have that. They don't have that same ability. So I would just keep that in mind with your students, and don't expect them to know something that maybe, that they don't have any ability to know at this point.
Thank
To
you,
discern.
Mrs. Murphy.
Danielle?
Yes, please.
I was watching a lot of conferences too, and I know that the Oakland County Sheriffs say most law agencies offer gun locks for free. So it's something, I don't know if nobody does that, we do. So, if you have one, and they will help you.
Thank you, Mrs. Roney. That's a good resource. And I'd also be remiss if I did not thank Mr. McIntyre and Dr. Kinzer. They are working a three-man show in here instead of four, and they are all working together as an amazing team to communicate with each other outside of that space and with the entire administrative team. So we really appreciate all the work that you've done in the last 36 to 48 hours. So what's going to happen now is we are going to move out of, in a minute, our regular meeting. We do have a work session scheduled. We will take about a 5 to 10 minute break. The work session is our annual organizational meeting, and then at the end, as you saw when we changed and approved our agenda, that we will go into closed session with Detective Warren to ask questions and just talk about next steps and our school safety plan. So that is what will be happening. If I can get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have support. Recommended by Mrs. Murphy and supported by Mrs. Roney. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 7-0.
Pro tip, those cookies that are sitting there with